I speak to honor a mother somewhere who is battling through stigma. I speak that this generation may not be lost through suicide. Thank you for the warm welcome. My name is Jacky, and I'm here to share my story. When Jeremy asked me to come and speak, we had met Jeremy a long time ago. No, not really a long time ago, about twice, a short while ago. And she just asked me if I'd be able to share my story. And I said I would never tire of telling my story. And I begin by saying that I speak to honor my son's memory. I speak to honor a mother somewhere who is battling through stigma. I speak that this generation may not be lost through suicide. So it was in 2019 on a Sunday. It was on a Sunday evening, and we were preparing to sleep when my two small children, we had had a late afternoon lunch. And one of the two small children, the boy came to my room because the small little girl was preparing for sleep, but she was just in my room hanging around. And she kept saying, Becky, kuja uone, come and see. So he kept going in and out, and I was getting irritated because he kept running in and out of the room. And Becky was not going with him because she was also tired and we were all preparing to sleep. So he went and he did that about 3 times. So finally Becky got tired and decided, let me just go and see what it is that he's saying. Akasema, wacha tu niende, niangalie. So when she rushed out, and she rushed back in immediately. And when she came and told me, Mami, kuja uone, Chichi ana swing na shingo, ana swing pale kwa veranda. So I rushed out immediately, and I opened the curtain. And the first thing that I saw, because my house has got a balcony, a veranda, was my son hanging from the balcony with from a noose. And his tongue was so long, he had choked. And it had reached, it was almost reaching his chest over here. And immediately I opened the door. And I screamed because it was in the veranda, and it's a place he used to do his physical fitness. So he had his physical chair, there was a table, and he had stood on this table and he was hanging. So I stepped I think in one instant, I went and I grabbed him and I removed him from up there. And he's a big boy, but I managed to bring him down. Then I started trying to revive him and calling him Chichi. So I screamed for the other, my daughters. Nyinyi kujeni muone vile Chichi amefanya hapa. The way I screamed just showed them that something was wrong. So when they saw me trying to revive him because he had tears in his eyes, his mouth was foaming. So when he lay back, his tongue went back inside, so I started asking them to look for an ambulance. So the 2 small children went in the house. The big girl was in the bathroom. So she rushed back into the bathroom to dress. I think then the other one froze in the sitting room. She couldn't think. She just froze. So we took him to hospital. And in the place where we live, the first hospital did not have oxygen. The second one didn't have oxygen, so we went to the third one that had oxygen. And I told them, the orderlies came quickly and they took him to the resuscitation room. So when I went, immediately I didn't want to go inside, but I saw the doctors were trying to prepare him and there was an oxygen tank there. So I just stepped out and I just went to the balcony and I told God God in heaven, if something happens to that boy, I don't know what will happen to me. I'll also run mad. Nitapasuka akili, something will happen to me. Something happens to that boy. I won't be able to stand it. So I went back inside and I found the doctor just standing. And there were two nurses and my friend who was, who had escorted me. Because while in the car, I was holding him and I was trying to revive him. So I was asking my friend, Charity, what is wrong? And I heard him breathe. But when we reached up there, I found Charity is also standing, the doctors are standing and just looking at him. So I asked them, why aren't you doing anything to him? So they said, nobody actually answered me. So then I just discovered that actually they cannot revive somebody who is already passed away. That's when it dawned on me that actually Chichi had passed away. And the only thing that I remember seeing, he was wearing a yellow t-shirt with that happy smiley face. And he was wearing his boxers because that's how I found him in his room. And the rope had cut him from ear to ear. And that's how Chichi died. I started by telling you that because I wanted to get this over and done with fast. Before I tell you about some of the symptoms, I heard the youth here really giving very wonderful explanations about how to discover or how to identify when somebody is suicidal. You cannot tell when somebody is suicidal very easily, but you can tell when somebody has hit depression because they become somebody else. Chichi was somebody who had a very healthy appetite. He stopped eating. He was a very happy boy. He started becoming very angry. And so I wondered what the anger was about. So the way it was, they were 3 children initially, then they became 5. But Chichi was the last one for a very, very long time. And he and my daughter, they were very close because the elder one there's a big space, but between him and his sister, there's a shorter space. So they grew up very close together. But I don't know what happened. What happened in boarding school? Something happened in school. And I say that because I was going through his book, his diary, and I was reading. And I started reading about 2 pages. And it's a diary, just maybe 190 or 200 pages. And in one of the pages he had written that one of the prefects in school had slapped him because he had embarrassed him. So he said that the guy had slapped him until something had happened to his ear. So he couldn't hear in class what was happening. But it seemed that he went through constant bullying thereafter. So I want to believe that something happened there. But you see, when he came home, I did not understand what was happening to him because all he would do was fight with his sister. So he would always pick quarrels with her, where he would take her clothes, take her jewelry, give to his friends, take her sneakers, give to his friends, put on her t-shirts, stuff that normal siblings do. But it would create a quarrel. And he'd want to beat her. So when I defend the girl, he was feeling like I was defending the girl more than him. But this I'm telling you now in retrospect. At that time, I did not know. At that time, I just knew that I was just balancing out both children. So Chichi, something happened to him. So the last time, we had a very big quarrel. And it was the 3 of us. It was me and the 2 girls. And he was sitting on the sofa set. And he said he's going to beat all of us and we were going to see. So, of course, as a mother, I said, are you talking to me or are you talking to your sibling or are you talking to somebody who is are you talking to your peer? So he told me he was going to teach me a lesson and he was going to teach he was going to teach the girls a lesson. So, he knew very well that if he touches the girls, I would respond. So he started a fight with them. So the 3 of us bebbered him juju and threw him out. But he was not easy. He was not easy to remove from the house. So it was a very bad fight until a neighbor had to come and help us. But from that day, Chichi was never the same again. Because he went downstairs and then he came back. He stood in my room on the cupboard next to me. So he just came and stood. And he was just crying. The way I'm crying, he was just crying. He didn't say anything. So I asked him, Sasa Nini, why do you cause us to do all that? And he didn't say anything, but he was just crying. And that's the last time that Chichi spoke to me until the exams came. So he was in Form 4. He would go to school for 3 days. He doesn't come back for 2 days. He stays at home for 2 days. He goes to school for 2 days. He stays at home for 3 days. People are going for tuitions. He's not going for tuitions. He says, Anataka, viatu za ball, he wants soccer boots. So then I went and I see what kind of soccer boots. He has soccer boots. He says, no, I want a certain type. So we get the certain type for him. When we get it for him, he leaves it at home. I had to meet and they stay there. He's forgotten about them. So then again, he says he doesn't want to go to school with matatu. He wants to go using his bike. So I fix his bike. If I don't fix his bike, it's going to be an issue. So I fix his bike. He rides to school for 2 days. The third day, he forgets about the bike. Then he now just stays at home. So he started withdrawing. He'd stay in his room and he would boom music. When people are sleeping, he's awake. When people are awake, he's asleep. His friends come to look for him. He doesn't want to talk to them. Then when his friends have left and have also left the house, he would just leave. He's wearing his boxers, kifua tupu, alafu anaenda anasimama base. Just a boy alone. And then they would call one of his friends to tell his friend, Rahim, hebu kuja uchukue Chichi. Chichi anachoma picha hapa. Chichi anachoma. At that time, he did not know himself. He was walking barefoot with his underwear, his boxers, not even his underwear. And he's just walking. So Chichi continued like that until we realized that there was something wrong. So one day I came home early and we were just the two of us in the house. So I asked him, so Chichi, what's been going on with you? How can I help you? What do I do? How do you want us to live in this house? All he kept saying throughout that period of almost 6 months, he just kept saying, Mimi siwezi ishi hivi. Because what eventually happened was he failed his exams. He got a D. So he wanted me to not tell people the results that he had gotten. And of course, people would naturally ask, mtoto alipata how much? Mtoto alipata how much? His aunties would ask. Because Chichi's dad passed long ago, almost 20 years ago, to date. And so when the first time I shared his actual results to his auntie, he was so embarrassed. He felt so bad. I just saw the reaction that he had. And as I realized I should not have actually shared the results that he had. But I told him, Chichi, these are just your results. We even do Ulifanya. How can you not go to school and you expect something to happen to you? So then we decided, so now, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to driving school? Do you want to go to art school? Do you want to go to polytechnic? He said, Sijui nitakwambia, I'll tell you. So he has a relationship with my elder daughter, with his elder sister, my firstborn daughter. Chichi, come and help me do my work. He'll go 2 days, the third day he doesn't go. So he was slowly just withdrawing. So one of the last times, like I'm telling you, he never used to talk now. And he would not eat. And he's normally a very, very healthy eater. I leave food, I find food in the kitchen. Usually you don't find food. So then when all this happened, that Sunday night, that's when he decided not to finish it. But before that, all he used to say was, Mimi siwezi ishi hivi. That's a singular thing that I always remember, that he says, siwezi ishi hivi. So those are some of the things, some of the signs that you can find out, that you can know from somebody's talk, somebody's walk, the way they behave, the change in the personality, and things like that happen. So we went shags, and we went to remove Chichi from the mortuary. Something that I never knew in my life, that I'd be the one to remove my child from the mortuary. It should be that children are the ones who are supposed to remove parents, but not parents to remove children from the mortuary to go and bury. I kid you not, there were almost 4 other kids there who had also done away with themselves. It's just that nobody speaks about it. And that is why I speak, that you may know that these things exist, to know that these things affect parents so badly, because they're the ones who are left behind. The parents, the siblings, society are the ones who have left behind. And you know, maybe somebody here is feeling like you've reached the end. But there's nothing, absolutely nothing that cannot be solved. Absolutely nothing that cannot be solved. It does not matter what level you have reached. Kama ni deni, kama ni nini, kama ni education, there is nothing that cannot be solved. It is not worth for you to take your life just for an issue, or to feel that you're misunderstood, that you're misplaced, that you're not appreciated, that you're not known. There is nothing. Because one life of a young man is one life too many. Now you see, I can never have grandchildren through my son. I can only have grandchildren through my daughters, but never one that I'll ever be proud of because I lost my son. So we went shags. And one of the things that they did, because they knew, I didn't die, that he had died by suicide. They put his cross facing outside. So I asked if these are people from the church. You know, usually the cross faces inside. They faced it outside. So I just didn't want maneno mingi, but I remember me and the sisters, we were so bitter that they had decided to stigmatize him, that the cross should not face the proper way because he had not died correctly. So I don't know how people die correctly in this world. Me, I just know that when you die, it's over. If really you're a Christian, that cross is just a wooden cross. Your body, your soul are what is there, but your spirit has gone to your Father in heaven. So one thing that we came back home and we couldn't manage it, I thought to myself that one of the best ways to deal with trauma was to speak about it. And the pastors that had helped me to go to, the ones that I used to go to church with in Nairobi, are the ones who helped me to speak to a group just like yourselves, to the youth in our area, the National Youth Council. And when I spoke about it, I think that's the time that it went viral, and that's when now people started knowing about it. But you see, people are born differently, with different personalities. My children hated it that I ever spoke about it. My firstborn daughter did not want me to discuss him with, even up till today. Even right now, she came visiting, and I told her, I'm going to speak about Chichi issues. She said, okay, come on, enda too. One time I had tried, just after he died, he passed away, to take things, to collect his things and to put them in my room, actually, to remove them from his room, his things from school, his books, whatever clothes were remaining. Because he also had a habit of giving away things. He'd give away his t-shirt, give away his trousers, give away stuff. And so I was just organizing things. I wanted to wash them. The girls were so offended. They did not want me to touch anything, to interfere with anything of his, nothing at all. I'd even take them, so they asked me, unaenda kufanya nini na nguo za Chichi? Unapeleka hapi nguo za Chichi? I told them, I'm not doing anything with them. I'm just pampering them. I'm putting them in my room. They told me to dare to touch his clothes again. The second girl, who's got a different personality, how she now went drinking with his friends. I tell you, I kid you not. You think becoming an alcoholic is hard. It's not. You can become an alcoholic in less than 1 month, because this girl disappeared from home. I would look for her. She's gone to his friend's place. She's gone to his bases. She's gone trying to, I don't know whether to absolve herself, to absolve the memory. She just disappeared from home. She was sacked from work during the COVID times because she was drinking. She would wake up late. She couldn't function at work. Me, I remained with the 2 small ones. I kid you not. I could not function. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything. I just think about my son, what I had done, what I had not done, what I should have done,
what I should have seen, what I didn't see, what I should have recognized. I just kicked myself. And I didn't do anything. Luckily, at that time, it was during COVID. During the COVID times. So people didn't need to go out all the time. So I would buy alcohol and sit in the house. And that's the only way that I was able to sleep when I hit a blackout. Otherwise, I couldn't sleep. I could not sleep. And I know you don't know that you can drink and stay wide awake. You can sit and be wide awake. And I couldn't sleep. One day I just woke up and I looked at the house. Because the kids now are eating takeaway. They would eat from kiosks. They would do takeaway food, takeaway chapo, takeaway. Because I couldn't cook. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't function. I had also hit serious depression. I didn't realize it. So one day I just woke up. I wasn't even taking a bath. I wasn't taking a shower. So one day I woke up and I looked in the kitchen and I wondered who had made that mess in the kitchen. I looked in the sitting room, it was upside down. I looked in the bathroom, the toilet hadn't been washed for donkey's years. The bathroom it was a public bathroom. The house was upside down. And it hit me that if I don't shape up, something will happen to the small ones also. So that is when I woke up and I decided I'll just have to get myself out of it. So step by step is when I just decided to take a day at a time and accept that Chichi had already gone. I tell you this because you might think that these things happen to other people and that these stories are so far off. But I tell you again, make this world a better place. Make it happen. Make it better for somebody today. I speak to honor my son, Chichi. May he rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom Jacqueline, for agreeing to share your story. And I'm really honored to have you here. I know it's not easy to keep revisiting the same thing over and over again, but thank you for the courage. Thank you for the desire to share your story and to give people hope, even when sometimes that's hard for you as an individual. I am really, really honored to have you here. How many of you have been impacted? Yeah, could we just give her a round of applause, please? And this is just a little bit something for you. Thank you so much. Yeah.